And we're live. Here we are. Happy Wednesday.
Hold on. Are you sure we're live? Hold on, I gotta check the chat.
Are we live?
Are we live?
Are we live?
Matt,
I can't
sorry.
tell. I'm looking at the thing where it says live.
I'm looking
I
at the
can't
live
tell.
thing, but I don't know if we're live.
I can't tell. Are we live?
Too
We
funny.
got to do this for about 30 seconds.
For about 30 more seconds. Until people show up, and then we know we're live. Look at
that. Yeah, hey, JM. All right, we are live. Somebody said something.
Oh my god. Fuck me.
Man.
Sorry, I had to. I couldn't help myself this show. I'm so wound up.
It's Wednesday. It's a happy Wednesday. And man,
on the shit that needs to be said show.
Yep, and we got some we get some good. I got some good shit to talk about today because I saw a couple of really great videos over the weekend that I was impressed.
I'm interested now.
Yeah.
Well, how do you want to start the show off? Hello, Basher Boy.
Hey, Basher Boy. You know what? I'm going to kick off the show with a bit of dirt track racing news because basically we ended the sprint car season this last weekend. And on a happy and sad note, Brad Sweet managed to win his 5th World of Outlaws championship, which will also be his last season in World of Outlaws. I had talked about it before. Brad Sweet and his brother-in-law, Kyle Larson, the NASCAR driver, started their own midweek series in 2023 called the High Limit Series. High Limit Series bought the All-Star Series a couple of weeks ago, and they have now taken over the entire, what will be a regular full-season sprint car series. What's happening, Earl?
Earl.
Hey, NorCal, what's cracking? So Brad Sweet obviously buys his own sprint car series. He's going to race in that series. So he's not going to return to World of Outlaw next year to defend his title, which is kind of sad because winning five championships is no joke in World of Outlaw.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but when you got somebody like Sofa King in the house, you gotta say something, like, it's like ooh ah, you gotta announce these guys as they come in. These guys, they're superstars here, right?
Yep.
I don't know why more people don't come to the show. Anyway,
I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to my YouTube bitch session.
I interrupted you in your dirt tracks, and I probably Thompson in the house.
Thompson, what's happening? So, yeah, it's kind of bittersweet that Brad won't be back to defend his World of Outlaw title. And whoever wins next year's World of Outlaw title, it's kind of going to be like an asterisk kind of deal because the guy who's won 5 out of the last 7 years isn't going to be there. Kind of a bummer. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, dirt track racing's coming to an end. Musack Midgets are going to do the West Coast Swing, which will culminate in the Turkey Night Grand Prix, which is at Ventura Raceway, which was my home track.
Looking forward to that.
Third time ever missing the Ventura Turkey Night race, which is kind of a bummer, but at the same time, 100 laps around Ventura in a midget is a long ass race. Long.
Not a lot of people are crippled and disabled like me. It's because it's Wednesday and people work, I think. That's what he says. There's a lot of people doing their OnlyFans on Wednesday. I'm sure it got them busy. So.
Yeah, and it's not just I know the time of the show and the day. Trying to do a show on the weekends it probably would end up with the same results no matter what time.
I mean, I'm sure Jesse's trying to probably, finish some welds in Michigan right now so he can get home.
So, but
I digress.
No, my real dig with the the 75 views in the thumbnail is at YouTube, because YouTube is fighting in court right now because of their targeting of people who run ad blockers. And evidently in the UK, they're trying to sue YouTube, saying that it's an invasion of privacy. And there's a lawsuit coming to the United States, the same thing, that people who are essentially running ad blockers in their browser are able to watch ad-free YouTube.
Well,
To
sure
a certain
extent. Yeah.
And YouTube doesn't like that.
Wah.
Costing us billions of dollars. Yeah, and it's like, who cares, YouTube? Suck it.
You are all right in the middle of the week, the middle of the day, the middle. Like
Yep.
a bad middle child.
The other thing is,
was it the good child? All I could think of was Macaulay Culkin in that movie, and throwing some dummy off the bridge for fun. Hey, that sounds like fun ones.
Yeah. The other interesting thing that that went on for the last few days is one of the squad members getting censured for basically posting the Hamas terrorist rallying cry, which is from the river to the sea, and her trying to pawn that off of, well, it means something different to me. It means something different to everybody. And the line of Democrats that went and stood up there trying to say the same shit. And it's like, come on, people. I mean, I know that 50% of this country is freaking stupid, but they ain't that stupid.
Hot dog in the middle too.
Everybody knows. It's been all over the fucking media. You can't just get up there and lie about, well, evidently they can, but the other part that I found interesting about all of that is that all of these multi-million dollar donors to colleges who also happen to be Jewish are not sending monies to these college and universities anymore, because the college and universities are letting these pro-Palestinian rallies go on where they're basically saying death to Israel and praising how they beheaded babies and shit. And it's like, oh. And now the university and colleges are at odds with their students, because now they're not allowing them to do the pro-Palestinian rallies and so forth and so not, because it's costing them tens of millions of dollars. But they're also now infringing on their students' right to free speech, which is, of course, kind of a big deal on colleges and universities.
Somebody made that.
As long as you're a lefty, they're okay with whatever you say until you start costing them money. Then they tell you to shut up.
Does that sound familiar, Simon?
It is this never-ending cycle of bullshit in this country.
Don't rock the boat, man. Don't rock the boat. We've talked about this.
Silly.
You could get knocked off.
So last night there was a bunch of states that had a bunch of elections. Virginia, a couple other places, and it didn't go well for Republicans, as well as they thought it was gonna go. So the geniuses over at Fox News wrote an article about the three main reasons why Republicans didn't just slaughter Democrats, because at this point, Democrats are just doing a shitty job of governing. They're in charge of, the Senate and the White House, and they're doing a shitty job. But this fucking genius, I believe her name is Liz Peek, wrote a piece that it's not about the economy. It's not about the open border. It's not about the fact that, we're driving ourselves into World War III. Those aren't the issues that voters really care about. It's abortion.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, really? So first of all, the abortion issue got settled. Okay. The Supreme Court said, you know what? The federal government can't make a law across the board about abortion. It's up to individual states. It's how the fucking Constitution laid it out. Matter of fact, I did a little homework in my pocket Constitution, and
Oh boy,
the states get to make their own laws when it comes to shit like that. So the
NorCal?
Supreme Court basically said,
grab
"Hey,
the soapbox.
Roe v. Wade was dumb. It was stupid, and we're just throwing that out. So now the states can make up their own laws. So issue done, because that's what it should be. There shouldn't be presidents and senators.
Videos of people. I have not seen videos of people stuffing ballot boxes. Don't help. Oh my god.
Yeah, well, there's a story about voting machines in Philadelphia that were taken offline because they were flipping votes, and
I'm already to the point where I believe that if they want it, they'll just have.
Now, if YouTube shuts this video down, then it shuts it down. But the first thing is to say that there's no election fraud going on is bullshit. Everybody knows that. Shit, fucking who's that fat comedian that died? And he was in it with David Spade, Tommy Boy. Yeah, Chris Farley. They made a movie where the whole movie premise of the movie was Chris Farley's brother was running and he got cheated out of the election because the lady was having dead people vote.
Yeah,
it's
dead people.
Joke in this country.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the fact that they've said that you can't talk about a specific year's election or election fraud in general anymore is a fucking joke, because everybody knows it happens. It happened. It's happened in every election since elections. We know it, and it happened again. It happened again.
Thompson with a comment. 1,000 points to Thompson with a comment of black sheep. I like that.
Black sheep. That was the one. Yeah, that's right. Tommy Boy was the breaks. Callahan break.
Chris Farley. I mean, come on.
Chris Farley, John Candy.
I love Fat Man in a Little Coat. Come on. Who's your favorite little rascal?
Spinky. But yeah, I think at this point everybody can admit, and everybody knows, even though we're not allowed to talk about it, that politicians cheat in elections. Politicians cheat wherever they can. That's part of being a politician. I heard a great joke.
If I could, I would.
I heard a great joke. A Jew, a Hindu, and a politician are out wandering through the countryside, and it's getting dark, and they need a place to sleep. So they see a farmhouse, and they walk over to the farmhouse and knock on the door. Farmer answers the door like, "Hey, man, we're out here and we're kind of stuck. We need a place to stay the night." The farmer's like, "What? You're more than welcome to stay here, but I only have 2 beds. So one of you is going to have to sleep in the barn." So the Jew says, "All right, I'll go sleep in the barn." So they all go, tuck themselves into bed, whatnot. 10 minutes goes by. The Jew comes over, knocks on the door, opens the door up like, "Hey, man, there's a pig in the barn. I can't sleep with the pig. It's not right." So the Hindu says, "Oh, all right, I got you. I'll go sleep in the barn." Hindu goes out to the barn. 10 minutes later, Hindus open the door. The Hindu is like, "Man, there's a cow out there. I can't sleep with the cow." So the politician's like, "All right, fine. I'll do it. I'll go sleep in the barn." So 10 minutes later, they open the door. It's the cow and the pig. Mr. Brown for being late. But you got here hopefully just in time to hear that awesome joke.
Chris Farley was a great actor. SNL and everything, and where he came from. Hello, Cape Cod. What's going on?
Hello, Cape Cod. Yeah, Chris Farley was one of the greats. John Belushi, John Candy, Chris Farley, all actors, comedians that we lost at the absolute worst possible time. I mean, who doesn't like Uncle Buck?
Right. What else were we gonna? you got me on something else. Do you think I could remember? I was gonna definitely talk. I know we wanted to talk about the show and the chat.
Well, so I happen to be watching the Q3.
Was that a joke or the truth?
What did I happen to be watching the Q3? If the Q3
No,
shareholder,
the pig and the cow.
the pig and the cow.
Yeah,
That's the pig and the cow couldn't sleep with the politician.
there's no way. So that's the truth.
Yeah.
So it's really not a joke. I think that's what Earl was getting at. He was working on a tractor. Sorry.
Yeah, I watched the Q3 shareholder meeting for Disney.
Oh, you definitely know how to live a life there, Rich.
Well, I mean, you know, when you're sitting here and you're kind of doing boring stuff on the computer all day, you got to have something to listen to. Sometimes.
So what did you find out about the shareholders from Disney? The third quarter shareholder Disney meeting.
Sometimes you listen to music. Sometimes you listen to congressional hearings. Sometimes I listen to movies, stand-up comedy routines. Whatever. It just so happened today that I saw this guy was broadcasting the Q3 earnings shareholder meeting for Disney.
I'm going to tell you right there that already just who broadcasts the shareholders meeting for Disney? Rich has some listening device in the Disney office, and that's really what's going on here. But
no, man, I got to tell you,
who the hell takes the time to broadcast this shareholders meeting?
Well, because it's an online meeting. They Zoom meeting, so they broadcast.
All right, fine. So you're watching the broadcast,
and
Jesus Christ.
I've said it before, like, you know, Disney's in trouble. Disney's got problems. Their movies are losing money left and right. They've now pushed back the live action Snow White to like 2025 because that little twit actress they got to play Snow White just fucking ruined it. Her and Wonder Woman just shit all over the original Snow White story, and Disney's in trouble.
Cape Cod says, I bet 10,000 people watched it, if not more.
The guy that was broadcasting it had well over 30,000 people were listening.
I think he was talking about the Snow White movie, but
well, it hasn't been released yet. It actually isn't even finished production yet.
Oh.
It runs on its own now. So, okay, I guess. Thanks, Rich might have too much time available. You know what, NorCal, I work from home, and my day job with Reem is not exactly exciting. It's not a thrill ride. Most of the time, it's quite boring.
It's like watching the shareholders meeting over at Disney.
so I stay relatively busy, but sometimes being an engineer isn't all about, designing cool models and shit. There's oftentimes a lot of paperwork that goes along with it, and paperwork has to be done. So while I'm doing paperwork, I'm just generally got to have something entertaining, or at least something to break the silence and monotony. But yeah, so today it was the shareholder meeting, and I can't for the life of me understand how either Bob Iger is so full of shit and he's just blatantly lying to everybody about how well the company's doing and all these great things that are happening, or they're sniffing their own farts over there and they just don't fucking get it. Because
what I like is I just can't believe that Disney's more transparent than Operation 11 Charlie. What the fuck is this?
Well, they have to.
We go ahead and we talk about the money here. You know, it's fine.
They have to be, because the shareholders are people that have invested money that expect to get their money back. Whereas Operation 11 Charlie is people just dump money on them and evidently just don't give a shit.
Just
where
don't
the
give a
money
shit. You know, they're doing a good thing.
goes.
They're making Snow White over there. Bro, you don't have to.
Now that is awesome right there, NorCal. 5,000 points in NorCal for jerking off all day.
Most of the day. Somebody's going to need a tissue.
But yeah, wow, it is amazing because I think it's illegal to lie during these meetings because they're like official meetings. They get recorded, they have minutes and everything. And yeah, man, Disney World, there are so many reports from people that frequent Disney World that are talking about it's in shambles. The park itself is in shambles. They're not doing much maintenance.
Really?
They're not doing upkeep. They've got, like on the Jungle Cruise ride, they've got netting up at an exit of a tunnel temple thing because the rock fascia is falling off in chunks.
Oh, awesome.
And they don't want it to fall and smack somebody on the head. It's riding in a boat.
What do we call that here in the mountains? There's we put chain netting up here in the mountains so it doesn't fall off onto the road, like not so it doesn't fall off onto you on an amusement ride. This isn't like what the fuck is this?
I always enjoyed the sign that just says "Watch out for falling rocks."
And then I see now that's when I point up and I'm like, Steven Tyler! Ah!
Hey, there's a rock falling.
It's AC/DC. Oh.
But yeah, Disney's in bad shape. If they're lying to their shareholders like it looked like they were lying to their shareholders today, there's definitely trouble on the horizon for them. Which, personally, couldn't happen to a nicer group of people. Walt Disney's rolling over in his grave for what they've done to his company. That was he was
at Cape Cod. We read the sign and then we all look. It's one of those things I like to do for people who haven't been out to the mountains or anything like that. Is when you're driving around out in the mountains, you just randomly point off into the woods. Sasquatch.
I always, like when I'm driving through a mountain road or whatever, there's rock slides and whatnot, and you drive along and you happen to drive by and there's like a big ass, like a boulder that you can tell has rolled down the side of the mountain and it's like laying on the side of the road. And as I'm driving by, I'm thinking like, man, what if you were here at the wrong place, wrong time,
and it does happen to people.
Smacked into the side of your car.
I go to the beach and yell shark. Oh, I love you, Cape Cod. 1,000 points for Cape Cod.
I mean, it's almost impossible for them to say you're lying. Like, dude, he was there. I saw him. No, he just went back underwater. You see the lines at Disneyland to spend $150 for a ticket. Still going strong. Hey, it.
What's good, losers?
I have
propaganda.
What's up, propaganda? I have done multiple trips to Disney. We were annual pass holders. We did the Christmas parties. We did the last night of the Tower of Terror party at California Adventure, and Disney Parks is the only Disney Parks is the only thing. Split this for a piece of gum.
I can't even chew gum. This asshole. This mother.
Hey man, I don't know if $2 would cover 2 pieces of gum. The way things are going.
Oh, you're not such a bad guy. This is the only show. I gotta admit though, this is the only show I feel like you could come to since we're on this real quickly. I feel like this is one of the very few shows that you could come to, speak your mind, say what's going on, losers, drop $2, whatever, and still like, you know, be hanging around.
Some people might get pissed off about that. And we here.
We love these people.
Totally appreciate the $2, man. Thanks, propaganda.
But it's one of the shows that you come to where we won't ever ask you for money here. Nah.
I won't even ask you to like or subscribe because it doesn't matter.
Join my OnlyFans. My OnlyFans. Join my OnlyFans account. I mean, we'll never post the PayPal. We're never gonna do that to you guys.
Yeah, well, and I mean, subscribers and likes don't even matter anymore on YouTube. Just doesn't. Nothing matters on YouTube. They promote you if you make them money. That's all they give a shit about. Which there was a good story that came about this SS Sniper something or other. She's a gamer girl.
Oh, okay.
And like relatively cute, but she was kind of a bitch.
They're all relatively cute. I mean, but
well, evidently she.
What's your Patreon link?
She like screwed a bunch of people and whatnot, and she ended up like blowing off some little girl that was dying of cancer and wanted to have a phone call with her, and she like blew this kid off, and ultimately something happened to her where she got in on some kind of scam deal and she ended up getting popped, and YouTube never took her channel down. She got like busted for fraud, and they never took her channel down. It like basically took one of the victims of the fraud had to sue YouTube to get her channel taken down because it was still making like tens of thousands of dollars while she's in prison. Like, come on, YouTube. You won't let people talk about elections. You won't let them talk about January 6th. You won't let them talk about COVID vaccines. But you'll let a fraudster run rampant on your fucking platform.
Well, I think we knew that.
Yeah. That's funny. Screwing and blowing.
Yeah, that is so fucking NorCal. I love it.
Yeah, a friend of mine posted a picture of his
a fraudster is now. I'm sorry. Yeah,
the Chevron station on his way to work this morning.
Yeah,
$5.65 a gallon.
Ugh. A fraudster is now a WWE champion. What a joke.
Yeah. Well, I mean, WWE is rigged, so they rigged it. They rig everything, so they're.
So where was your friend at? $5.56 a gallon.
Ventura, California.
Right, in California. Great.
Yeah.
God, I hope that's not the winter prices we're looking forward to this year.
He was, and the funny part is, he lives in Colorado now. He was just visiting, and he was visiting with some customers of his, and he was driving there, and he snapped the picture. And it's funny, I know the gas station. I like totally recognize the corner that it's on, everything, and because I like.
Where's my lurkers at? I see 10 people here. Where's my Lucky Charms motherfucker? And hey, is that maple piece of syrup shit guy here?
It's
$3 in Massachusetts.
Yeah, but they chose to put the belt on that POS Logan Paul. You know, I don't understand the Paul brothers. I don't understand why they're popular. I've tried to go and watch like their old videos, like when their channel was growing, all of that. And I just don't. I guess I'm not Gen Z, so I don't understand the bits.
Oh, first it was Santa, then it was the Easter Bunny. Now WWE isn't real. Shit.
And
oh my God, you guys destroyed my dad's world.
Santa and the Easter Bunny are real. I just watched Rise of the Guardians, man.
Gas is free here after dark if you've got a hose. What kind of hose?
Hey, I know this is kind of a touchy subject and all, but
oh boy, here we go. 30 minutes in and we're touching the subjects. I mean, touchy.
There's a whole lot of videos. It doesn't matter what platform you go to, X, YouTube, Instagram, TikToks, any of them. Mm-hmm. But
what's up? I gotta know now.
The African American community is getting a little out of control.
Oh.
I'm just saying, you know, when you see videos of the Gucci store getting looted, when you got, you know, there's a black guy that's been making TikToks where he's walking around in white neighborhoods.
You mean the peaceful protesters?
Yeah. He had one where he walked into basically like one of those self-serve post offices. So, you know, they have a scale in there. You just walk in there and you have a scale there. You scale and, you know, it'll print out the label for you and whatnot. And he like walked into this place in the middle of the night. And he's like, man, they don't put this in the hood. It's like, you wouldn't see this in it. He said, there wouldn't be anything left in this store. He's like, but I with the white people. He's like, look at this shit. He's like, I come in here and mail a package in the middle of the night and get it, you know, get the correct postage paid for it because they have a scale sitting right here. And they got a little printer that prints out the thing and you stick it on there. And yeah, he's made a whole bunch of videos in different places in white neighborhoods where he's like, you can't have this in black neighborhoods. But the other part that I keep seeing is, and I saw this one last night, was a group of large black women were fighting in some kind of fast food establishment. And there's probably at least five or six of them that are brawling, pulling hair, cussing, screaming the whole ball back. The thing that caught me about this particular video was one of the women in the fight didn't have no pants on. Like, literally didn't have, she was butt naked from her waist down. And she's running around like throwing punches. And
shit, like, this is better than OnlyFans. I got $10 on that girl.
People are cheering them on and egging them on. But by the end of the brawl, there's one particular woman that gets punched and she falls down on the floor.
Oh boy.
And other women jump on her and just punching her and kicking her, and she's clearly, you know, she's down. Schoolyard rules is, you know, when you're down, that's
down, it. Man. Yeah, fuck, it's over. Now you gotta walk over and beat the shit out of them after they're down too.
With this community, that's not the way it goes. Now, I did see another video of this shitty little white girl, probably maybe 13, 14, and that she's outside somewhere, and there's a group of black girls that are standing there, and they're yelling at her in the beginning sort of indiscriminately, and you can't really hear what she's saying, and they stop yelling, and they're like, you know, fuck you, bitch, you shouldn't have said that shit. And she's like, what? And she said it. She said the N-word, just blurted that shit out. And she got the shit beat out of her. I mean, it was relentless. She was on the ground, and there were
girls are vicious.
6 of them beating on her.
I'm concerned, but I want to touch on this real quick because what was it? No, so for King says that you might be slightly racist. Now I'm going to tell you that can't be true because me and Rich have watched 50 Shades of Grey together, and we're not racist at all. So
yeah. And but in that particular case, I was like, you know, that dumb white girl, you you as a white person, I know I'm not allowed to say that word. I'm allowed to allude to that word by saying the N word, but I'm not allowed to ever utter that word.
I have actually dropped that word in front of a black person before, and I think I think it depends on the person and where you're at and what you're doing and what you say.
This is true in a comedic situation, yes, because I have actually called a black friend that, and he laughed his ass off because in that particular situation, we were just funking with him, and he was being.
And I mean, it was, it's got to be one of those things between you and a friend and an understanding. I mean, you can't just drop the N word because you're dropping the N. Like, no, man, you better know.
My impression is like this. This was obviously someplace in the South. The girl had a Southern accent, and I'm imagining that this girl is probably raised in either a neo-Nazi house or a KKK house. And she just felt very comfortable saying it. And it's like, whoa.
What is the worst kind of trash? I want to know. And then,
please say white trash. But
welcome by every day.
It is the young teenage age African American community is they're mean. I mean, they're just mean as shit, and it just.
I want to pose a philosophical question to you. Are you being slightly racist, or are you just being an observationalist? Let me ask you that, because, like I said before, I think sometimes people make observations and they're you're being racist, you're being a naysayer. Well,
but I'm merely and
are you being a realist?
I'm an observationist. I'm merely observing that. First of all, if you put all these videos out on the internet that show all of the shenanigans that you're doing, you're putting it out there for me to see and for me to comment on. If you don't want me to comment or say something on it, it's just don't put it out there. First and foremost, stop being assholes. I saw this college professor that explained, it's a black college professor, explained that black people are spending way too much time worrying about what white people think, what brown people think, what Asian people think. They're spending all of this time worried about what these other people think, and they're not paying attention about what they think about themselves. And if they would take a moment and step back and say, I don't give a shit what any of these other races say about me or have an opinion about me. I'm gonna think about me. I'm gonna think about my community. I'm gonna be positive. He's like, you imagine the steps that the African American community would make if they just had a better, positive self-image of themselves. But what they're hearing and what they listen to and what they pay attention to is all these people that are just constantly picking on them in the media.
I'm just, and I agree with you guys. It's not racist to point out the problems. Being wrong is, and I'm of the opinion we're all the same. We're all the same. We all have to live here on this earth. For Christ's sake, man, we're all the same. But
we're all God's children. Doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what you look like. We're all God's children. We're all here to serve a particular purpose.
Each one of us on reparations. Oh my God.
You can't give reparations. Nobody alive today. Well,
but the point that I was getting to before was it's hard to be a realist or an observationalist without getting called something like a racist to attach to it. You can't make these observations anymore without being called out like, hey, you're the bad guy. Look, I'm not necessarily the bad guy.
I'm just pointing out reality. And that seems to be a problem that a lot of the younger generation has an issue with, which is reality. It's why they're trying to create this debate that gender is a social construct. Oh, not really.
And I just slap the shit out of you.
The only people I think deserve reparations right now at this point in time are victims of child sex slaves and, you know, people who've been children who've been recovered. They're the only ones that deserve reparations.
I'm this. You know, how can you go back and give it? Dude, we've given Native Americans reparations for years. Honestly, I mean, we keep giving them money. It's not like those people have it.
And we don't even have to, because the larger tribes reservations are tax free. They are basically their own individual sovereign territories in and amongst the United States. They don't pay taxes. They are allowed to do whatever they want. They police themselves. For a majority of the part, Native Americans are allowed to do whatever they want in their land.
Don't think that doesn't suck though.
But there isn't. There isn't anybody alive today.
It's its own problems.
There isn't anybody alive today that is responsible for what happened to the Indians.
I'm going to give 1,000 points to Jesse Baker for the first blocked comment by YouTube. We are all slaves to the 1%ers, which are the rich. Because I truly believe that it is a class war. It is
more than anything. And I'll point this out based on the censuring of Rashida Tlaib. There were 22 Democrats that voted to censure her, 4 Republicans that said not to. And what she said is despicable. And it's not the first time she said shit like this. But if you go back over just the last few months of all the shit that's been going on in Washington, D.C., and you look at Kevin McCarthy being ousted as Speaker, the multiple votes that they had to go through in order to get Mike Johnson as Speaker of the House. And basically what happens is the United States Congress, let's put it this way, the political elite in this country, the higher ups, we're talking the governors, the senators, the congressmen, ex-senators, ex-congressmen, the people who hold and wield political power. There is no two-party system. It is a uniparty. And what they do is they throw bones.
A unibody? I think I've driven a couple of those.
It's a uniparty.
Oh, uniparty.
All these people in Washington, D.C., you think that, they don't have a Democrat and Republican cafeteria. They don't have a Democrat and Republican barbershop. No, they all go to the same place. They all hang out with one another.
Wouldn't that be racist? Wouldn't that be segregation throughout the,
But you can't have segregation based on political party, because that is a choice. You can choose to be a Democrat, choose to be a Republican. It would be segregation if they said, hey, only the white senators can use the Senate barbershop.
It just seems fucked up. So, but we can have a fountain that says Democrats, and we can have a fountain that says Republicans, and you can only drink from those.
But what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter. Whether there's an R or a D next to their name doesn't matter anymore, because they vote for the same shit. There will always be a small group of dissenters from each party. They're always different. There's always going to be a dozen or half a dozen or so that will dissent from their party and vote with the other party. And it gives us the illusion that they're actually over there fighting one another. But every time you see the actual legislation that gets put forth, you see that they predominantly agree on one thing. Give me money. Let's make sure that all of us stay in power. We all can bicker with one another publicly, but we all want the same thing. We all want to be here. We all want to make money. And it actually brings me to something that
Speaking of that, just really quickly, the comments, RC Cape Cod feels that he should have money first. Just saying, if we're going to hand anybody money, it should be Cape Cod. And then right wing, left wing, still the same bird. Money, give it to me. Yeah.
Jesse Baker agreed. We are all slaves to rich. That's right. You're
That
all
is
my
not,
slaves.
what is this? I can't read this word. Did you steal this word from Green Frog? Because we are all alivis to rich. What is it?
I'm hoping that's some kind of
I'm hoping that
autocorrect
it's
thing, and
slaves. I don't know, but
hoping he didn't like steal Green Frog's thesaurus.
yeah. And then are you talking about rich here or the rich?
No, wait. I want to share screen.
Voting. What pronouns will be? Man, no, my God, we're gonna vote on pronouns. What the fuck is that shit?
All right. So here's an interesting little thing you can look at, and that is going back for 70 years now. Presidents that have how much money presidents have raised is in their net worth while they were president. There are a couple of presidents in here where after they left the White House, their wealth went up exponentially more. Obama being one of them. Him and Michelle made $40 million just on their one Netflix special.
Clinton did pretty good.
And that's peanuts compared to what the Clinton Foundation has actually made for Hillary and Bill. But the one thing that you see on this list is there's been one president since Nixon that didn't increase his wealth. Now, this is a mixture of Democrats and Republicans. Just one guy didn't make any money, lost more money than all of the other presidents made during their presidency combined. That's right. Donald Trump lost $700 million while he was president of the United States. And one of the things that people keep talking about Donald Trump, and I know he's a divisive figure and whatnot, but the fact of the matter is Donald Trump is a billionaire. Do you know how much of Donald Trump's campaign was funded by outside sources? 1%. 1% of his campaign. Do you know how much Donald Trump contributed to his campaign? 99% of his presidential campaigns have been financed by himself.
Yeah, it's the shouty man in the house.
You know how much money of her own money Hillary Clinton put into her campaign? You know how much money Joe Biden of his own money put into his campaign? You know how much money Obama put of his own money in his campaign?
I'm starting to see a trend here.
Oh, what's cracking, man? It's good to have you, Mr. Shouty Guy. Yeah, the trend is that everybody that has run for any political office that has campaign contributions, they owe people. You owe somebody something. They give you that money because they want you to do something or they want something from you. And the one guy that we had in office that didn't want anything, didn't want anybody's money, is the guy that is now the most evil man in the world when you bring him up in most public settings. Even Republicans can't stand
God,
Donald.
is that how people feel about me? Oh, wait, they all thought I was trying to promote myself.
Master of politics. I am just the people that make the laws, that make the rules.
Risk.
The
That's
people.
how many of us give a funk.
The people that affect how much we pay for a gallon of gas every day.
So I guess there are moral questions here. There are moral questions here. Is if you give a funk, that's the thing. Is like, did you have kids? Do you have kids that carry on in the world? Are you going to have people that live on past you that have to live in this fucking shithouse world and you didn't do anything about it? Or
soapbox number 2. Well, the real problem that I see is everybody talks about 2020. Joe Biden got 81 million votes. Donald Trump got 73 million votes. When you add that up, that's 154 million votes. There's 340 million people who live in this country. That means that half of this country doesn't give a shit enough to bother voting for the people that, if you're sitting over here and you haven't voted and you're sitting over here in California going, $5.65 a gallon, what the fuck? All you can do is, oh shit, I guess I should have voted. And I should have voted for the guy that wouldn't have made me pay $5.65 a gallon for gas.
Well, look, the reason I got to bring up the moral question is because, so like I said, I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of like, I don't give a funk. I've always been on that. I don't vote. I don't do that. Should be, you know what? I got 30, 40 more years in me, and I'm going to die. Maybe 50 at best. I'm hoping that in the next, 50 years, like, really, I just want to live. I don't know, why am I stressing out about all this shit? Of course, now if they put me in an internment camp for the next 50 years, yeah, I might have said, oh my God, I should have voted on this.
So imagine right now how many people watching this show, 12 people are into, how many of you have military age children? How many of you have a boy that could be drafted? Because the Democrats have talked about that if a war breaks out, they will reinstitute the draft. The reason why they would have to reinstitute the draft is because since 1969, 1970, we haven't had to draft anybody into our military at all. We've been able to recruit people through getting them a reason to join. The GI Bill, things like that. Career move, we can train you how to do stuff. If you really are so inclined, we'll put a gun in your hand and we'll let you go to war if you want. But if you have to institute the draft, that means that you don't have enough people in your military, and you got to recruit, some poor young kid who probably doesn't give a shit.
Who watched Starship Troopers? We need meat for the grinder.
Yeah. So the reason why there would be World War III is because all these greedy shit stains that run the world can't take 2 steps back to not be greedy pieces of shits. But we're the ones that put them in the position to be greedy pieces of shits. Unfortunately, only half of our country realizes that the reason why things are in such disarray is because we don't give a shit. Half the country doesn't give a shit what goes on in politics. They don't want to bother. They don't want to pay attention. But I guarantee you, when you go to the gas pump, if you didn't vote, if you've never voted, you go to the gas pump, you're paying $5.65 a gallon right now. It's them guys in Washington, D.C. And it isn't one particular party or the other that you can point the finger at. They're both pieces of shit.
War is different now. The drones, unarmed planes, killer, dying not quite as high as when we were kids. It's true. You do have a point, but that doesn't mean that they won't send people to the front line to die.
We'll never see the same kind of carnage that was seen in Vietnam. That was the pinnacle of hand combat. And I believe it was Albert Einstein that said, I don't know what weapons we'll use for World War IV or for World War III, but for World War IV, it'll be sticks and stones. Because, Earl's right. We have technology now that is freaking scary. Which leads me to, I was telling
lasers from space.
I was telling Justin that I have a friend of mine who is a retired Navy air traffic controller.
Well, okay, all right. I'm sorry, because war is very profitable, almost as profitable as this. This goes back to, I just want to. Sorry, man, and I know you want to talk about your air traffic controller friend, but
no. I'm just
the thing about it is since we're on this really quickly, That's so a whole reason I don't vote, right? JFK in the 60s says, hey, you know what? We're going to beat those Ruskies to the moon. We're going to go to the moon. And they do it. Okay, and they spent a lot of money doing a lot of fucking nothing. It was a showboat fucking move. There wasn't anything to it whatsoever other than we accomplished this. And all the people who said, well, shit, we're making a ton of money off war and this guy wants to go to the moon. Let's fuck this guy. Now, well, that's the way so if they shot this guy, if they ended this guy, and they'll just do what they want to, why would I vote, Rich? Why at this point would I go down and vote?
Well, primarily because the fact that happened, and we know that it wasn't just the moon landing, it was also the fact that JFK and his brother, they wanted to dismantle and disband the CIA because the CIA kind of got us into, I mean, I'm sure everybody saw the movie Air America with Mel Gibson, that the CIA was running drugs in Laos, and you know that
check these comments real quick.
That had a lot of it had a lot to do with what was going on with the war in Vietnam, and the CIA was kind of using the war in Vietnam to cover the fact that they were running a huge drug smuggling operation and making tons of money. But it wouldn't be the first time that the CIA has kind of operated that way. Yeah, that is kind of an odd place to vote in the Freemasons Lodge.
I had a friend in Freemasons. The Freemasons are kind of a different kind of group, man. That's just,
my grandfather was a Freemason.
You can 3D print stuff? Ooh, I might need to talk to you.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous, but I'm not jealous.
I need some 3D parts from somebody who's reasonable.
Who actually owes the real owns. I don't know.
The real American.
The real Air America. I always thought it was the CIA that was their.
It's going to be somebody's name I can't pronounce.
U.S. spends 300. That's a lot of zeros. Yeah, we have the largest military budget on the planet. So much so that the next 8 countries' military spending is still combined is still not enough to keep up with us. Which, I mean, Connie Coletta. You know, funny story about Connie Coletta. I raced with his son in midgets for a number of years. Great guy, amazing guy. Probably 12 years ago, I went to the Winter Nationals in Pomona and hung out with Doug for like an hour or so. Yeah, Coletta Air, and it's funny. Doug grew up flying with Coletta.
Wait, Rich, you're a midget?
Yes.
1,000 points to propaganda for calling you out on being short.
Midget is a type of race car, and yes, I don't. They go way back.
What I used to race midgets,
and my cousin used to joke with me all the time, like, what do you get up on their shoulders and like ride them like a horse or something?
Yeah. Boy, this is just like volunteering for Operation 11 Charlie.
But yes, Coletta Air is, I mean, they're still in operation, and Coletta Air is one of the only companies that contracts, that the military direct contracts through to move and transport military equipment, like private companies.
Fuck, I'm never going to get that image out of my head now. Thanks, guys. Riding around on a fucking midget with a whip, just giving him hell like down the track. I'm gonna have to do like an AI picture of this midget race, like midget racing.
They're actually if you go on a Flow Racing or just USAC YouTube channel and watch midget sprint car racing is fantastic as far as race. And you see Rich straddling some little. I can see how this is going to be a thing now.
The problem is I can't unsee it. That's the thing. It's not necessarily. It's like it's at the end when he gets handed the trophy and they shoot the spritzer and everything. It's just too much for me.
Well, you know, like they typically do at the races where they like shoot the confetti and then they like stand up on top of the car with the flag and the trophy and whatnot. Yeah, standing on top of this poor guy's shoulders. And it's not polite to call them midgets anymore. They have to call them vertically challenged.
I'm not racist. My midget won first place.
Oh, so anyhow, I got to tell this story. So a friend of mine, he retired from the Navy's air traffic controller. Years he was in the Navy. I think he's got to be probably in his mid 40s now. His last stint that he signed up for, they said, "Hey man, we'll station you wherever you want. Wherever you want is your choice. That's, you know, this is your golden parachute getting out of the military." Grew up and born and raised in the San Diego area, so he chose Miramar. Miramar, obviously famous for the Top Gun and whatnot. So he goes to report, and he's a senior air traffic controller guy. So he's kind of a big cheese when he goes into the air traffic controller building. So he goes into this building, and you know, he's like super jazzed because he knows at some point the Top Gun, the actual Top Gun thing is going to come and all of that. And he's like super jazzed, and he goes to his commanding officer, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm reporting for duty, ready to go here and whatnot." And he's like, "Okay." He's like, "Well, you know what you're doing. You've been doing this a long time. You know what you're doing. So, you know, your shift will start in however much time." It's like, great, awesome. So he goes, he gets set up, does his first shift. End of the first shift, evidently this is some kind of tradition. End of the first shift, his commanding officer comes in. He's like, "All right, yeah, you got your first shift in your new position here today, and you're going to retire. So we will let you go take a flight with one of the Top Gun instructors in one of the trainer jets, and he'll do the full for you." Now, Danny's been stationed on aircraft carriers and whatnot, and so he's landed on aircraft carriers and all that fun shit, and he's like, "Oh man," he's like, "All right, this is freaking cool. I'm gonna get to fly with the guys that train the best of the best. So these are the best of the best that train the best of the best of the best." So he's super stoked. Gets all set up for the whole thing. It happens a couple weeks later. They get him all, you know, he's all suited up, whatnot. And he's gonna go flying this out with this pilot. So pilot, you know, comes over, shakes his hand like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be your pilot today. I understand that, you know, this is you're getting ready to retire. It's awesome. You know, have you ever, you know, flown in a fighter jet before?" And then he's like, "Yeah, you know, a few times I've gotten lucky enough to go on flights." So he's like, "Okay, well, you're going to experience something you've never experienced because obviously this is Top Gun school." So he's like, "Okay." So they get in the jet. They, you know, they go through all the blah. Blah. Pilot takes off. He's doing maneuvers, doing all this crazy shit. Danny's like, "Woo, yeah, rock on," whatnot. And the pilot's like, "Okay, I got my warm up done. Let's go." And Danny's like, that's your hey man, that's your warm up." He's like, "Yeah man, now we're gonna do some fun shit." So he now is doing full acrobatics, shooting the thing straight up in the air, falling back down to earth. Danny being relatively experienced, being in the Navy and whatnot, he's not puking, but he's like, I'm ready. He's like, I got the bag. I'm ready to go because I'm pretty sure it's going to happen at some point. And the pilot is like, hey, man, have you ever gone into G-Lock before? Danny's like, no. He's like, well, you know what it is? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, do you want to? And Danny's like, I don't know. And the pilot's like, I'll take that as a yes. And he goes into like a negative G inverted thing. So basically it's like pulling straight up, but as many G's as the jet can possibly do, where all of the blood just goes out of your head. You wear the G suit and everything, but they can pull hard enough for all the blood. And basically he's like, you just go, you pass out. He's like, it's this really weird thing where all of a sudden this black, it just starts getting black and black and black and black and black, and then you're asleep. And then you wake up. And he's like, and I did ask him if I could tell the story because it gets embarrassing at this point. He's like, not only while I was passed out did I puke all over.
Oh, God.
He's like, I shit myself. So now it reeks of puke and shit inside the jet. And he's like, now the pilot's got to, because he's like, it's foul. He's like, he's like, I had no idea that's what happened.
Requesting emergency landing.
So pilot lands, they get down to the ground, and Danny's apologized. And they're walking across the tarmac, and the pilot like fucking elbows him. He's like, hey man, he's like, it would have been amazing if you didn't shit yourself. He's like, I haven't had anybody. He said, I've had ace pilots with multiple kills go up with me on flights that have shit themselves. He's like, it would be amazing if you didn't.
It's like just before you go to meet the Pope,
He's like, I didn't.
Oh my God.
He's like, I'm a grown ass man and I fucking shit myself. And he's like, you got to walk quite a ways. And he's
I gotta
like,
stop you because UR is going to take a call it.
Man, take care.
And I know that you feel insignificant out there. You're not that insignificant to us.
Yeah. Nah, man, it's everybody's important.
We appreciate you here. The thing about that is like NorCal said, it's all for the empire there. I mean, they've been raised in a culture where it's like, yeah, they're not going to let you say anything or do anything.
Yeah, yeah, and unfortunately, Europe is in trouble. Europe is. It's never a good idea to just allow mass migration into your countries. It's never been a good idea. In the history of countries, it's never been a good idea. Because
it's dark here in the studio.
If you let enough people into your country, eventually they're going to overthrow your government because there'll be more of them than there are of you.
Are you sure that the Romans didn't invent the class system?
Well, I mean, the Romans didn't really, I
don't think they meant to invent the class system. I think.
Well, I mean, Romans pretty much everybody was kind of along the same lines unless you were a slave. So there was everybody and then the slaves. So I guess you could say that was a upper and lower class.
Well, I was going to say that wasn't the way Rome started out, but Rome ended up that way,
because the definition
the rich who kept getting richer and the poor kept getting poorer.
Well, the actual definition of upper, middle, and lower class was actually created by Karl Marx. He was the first one that sort of actually labeled the classes themselves. And that was in order to create a society that had a hierarchy system, which is now classically known as Marxism or Marxist socialism. And I think Ronald Reagan liked to call it trickle-down economics.
Oh, yeah.
Give
Reaganomics.
all the money to the rich people, and then let the money trickle down.
Yes, that'll
Everybody
be
else.
what'll happen for sure.
Hey, the crypto kid, the FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, found guilty on all 6 counts. Possibility of 115 years in prison.
Oh wow.
And similar to the story I was talking about last week about how the guy made hundreds of millions of dollars and had to pay like $8 million in fines, but he still had all of his money. Same thing with Sam Bankman-Fried. He actually bilked people out of pretty close to $2 billion. And I mean, pretty much most of it, nobody really knows where it's at. How awesome is that? He also was the largest single campaign donor in the 2020 election cycle.
Huh.
Single largest campaign donor. Like a majority of it went to Democrats, but saying something like 140 million some odd dollars that he donated to political campaigns.
Interesting.
Pretty sure he was trying to buy himself out of ending up going to prison.
Really? You think?
Yeah, pretty sure that's what he was trying to do. I mean, if I had billions of dollars, it's what I would do. I'm going to throw money around to the most powerful people that can likely keep you from going to prison, which would be all politicians. Oh, have we talked about anything, RC, yet today?
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, freaking pizza, man. I don't get how their math works. Like Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, you name it, with the exception of Little Caesars, because Little Caesars doesn't deliver. You have to physically go there and pick it up. Not that it matters, because the only time anybody eats Little Caesars is when you don't have another choice. Nice, new Big Rock. But so I order pizza.
Did you buy 2 of them, Earl?
I order a pizza from Pizza Hut. The coupon, the big meal box, big dinner box. So it's 2 pizzas.
Yeah.
Rectangular. Breadsticks.
Sure.
Chicken wings. $26.99.
Right.
Great. Poop. Check out. You know how much that pizza actually, that big meal box, what it actually cost me when it was all said and done? $47. Now,
wait a minute.
I am an engineer, so I'm pretty good at math. That's without a tip, not tipping the driver. $47. So that's $20 more that I had to pay for my pizza to get delivered to me. Part of it is sales tax. Okay, I'll take $3 or $4 in sales tax. Then there's delivery fee. But the part that got me, because I had to go back and look at it, was when I went to proceed to checkout, and I got to the checkout, and I actually looked at what the price of the pizza was. $32.19. Then they charge me sales tax. Then they charge me a delivery fee. Then I have to tack a tip on top of that. How did it go from $26.99 to $32.19? What happened there?
Did you add any toppings or anything? Did you add anything to it, or did you just
two topping pizzas? The first one was just pepperoni, nothing else. The second one was chicken and extra cheese.
Huh.
Now, Domino's does it, Pizza Hut does it, fucking Papa John's does it, because I looked at all of them. And I don't know, they're ripping people off left and right. How the fuck do they get away with that? Not to mention, $47 fucking dollars for what equates to like 8 boneless chicken wings, 6 shitty strips of bread with a pound of fucking garlic salt on it, and 2 pretty small pizzas. That doesn't taste all that great. But here locally, our Pizza Hut is the best pizza we can get. Domino's is fucking scary.
Everything is going to shit. Well, and so one of the things that like I've noticed, especially in the food industry, is it seems to be there's a lot more younger people working in the food industry all of a sudden. Have you noticed this? Or is it just me? I mean, like now we go in there and I see like 12-year-olds running this place. I thought child labor was against the law, but apparently in some places it's totally cool.
Which
these kids don't even look like they've hit puberty. I'm not even sure that they got man hairs on them. And they come.
What do you order?
It's why I won't go to Domino's, because I actually went in to the Domino's to pick up pizza one night. This was about a year ago. And
yeah, still the same husband and wife making them. Yeah, of course there is, because
I literally, when I walked into the Domino's and I saw the condition of the store and I saw the people that were working there, when they brought my pizzas over, I literally paid for them and I just put the boxes down on the counter and I said, "Thank you very much. You all can eat this. Have a nice night." And I walked out. And then I had to explain to my wife why I just paid like freaking $20 for pizza that I left in the store. I was like, go walk inside that store. You wouldn't eat anything that came out of there fucking either. And we've never ordered from that Domino's since.
It's like Earl here with the $20 an hour at McDonald's to start off with. Yeah, you can go work 20 when a Big Mac costs $18 a piece or something now, which is stupid.
That's the law in California now. $20 an hour for fast food. Like what the hell? You're not supposed to make a career out of working at McDonald's or Burger King or fucking Subway. It's supposed to be like something you do while you're going to school or, after school because you want to make some extra money.
Was it? I talked to a restaurant owner. Sales went up during the big C word. I'm not going to say that, but I wanted to mention to Rich when we were talking about OnlyFans last week. It's one of the things that really helped the birth of the online stuff was the big C word. When we sat at home for a year and a half or whatever, 2 years basically, for Christ's sake, and did nothing, of course, online, everything went out the window. I mean, that's all you could do.
I mean, Amazon sales blew up because nobody wants to go to the grocery store during the pandemic. I mean, nobody wanted to go anywhere. And in some places, you literally couldn't.
So they wouldn't even let you. It was closed or shut down.
Amazon was your choice, And I mean, shit, who doesn't like Amazon? You order everything on Amazon. Should I get my cat food on Amazon? Because cat food on Amazon is cheaper than going to Walmart and buying it here. And shit, it gets delivered to my door. It's freaking awesome.
Where else will all the dumb Pluto work? 1,000 points propaganda. That dumb.
I saw
it was a perm. It was a perm.
I saw a great video of a blue-haired Gen Zer that was talking about she had gotten her first adult job, and she worked at Target because you could see her Target name tag, and she's like making this video of her, got her phone set up, and she's like opening her check up for the first time. And she's What the 200? They took $250. And she got the piercings, the whole ball of wax, and they took $250. And like she ends the video going, no wonder they threw all the fucking tea in the ocean. I think that's probably what is going to end up happening again. Is we're already so taxed here on everything, and I mean, shit. I feel sorry for the people who are still in California, because California just keep adding more and more and more. Just like shit, people. Eventually, everybody's going to be working for the government. There aren't going to be any businesses left. There won't be any companies that are left operating in California because they won't be able to do anything.
For the empire.
Now Washington State just implemented, because in the Washington State Constitution, they can't have income tax, which is why a lot of big businesses there, Microsoft, Amazon, Starbucks, is a bunch of big companies there. But what they're now doing is they're implementing a bunch of little other taxes that are basically pointed at wealthy people. And Jeff Bezos was born and raised in fucking Seattle, just announced he's moving to Florida.
They're taxing PayPal now, selling used RC cars. How many times can you tax on an RC car? Tax upon a tax. How are you pay road taxes? I got to pay taxes at work. I got to pay taxes at the store.
Oh, yeah, propaganda, man. Fucking salary blows. Being on salary sucks ass. Because, they automatically expect you to work 50 hours a week. Like, no, man, it's 40 hours a week is what I'm getting paid for. Yeah, but
we pay you salary.
Do this, dummy.
But we pay you salary, so you'll be here 50, 60 something hours.
But yeah, I mean, and people are now, you see people that are now pointing out that, I buy something that I get taxed on with money that's already been taxed. And let's say I buy a house. Well, now I pay taxes every year on the house that I paid taxes on, paying with money that's already been taxed. So shit, how many different ways can you fucking tax us and take our money away from us? And then,
well, yeah, because you get paid. When you get paid, they take out taxes. At the end of the year, they do tax. I don't understand this. This never made sense to me. How it's like I said, it's no wonder they threw that tea into the fucking ocean. I give them some credit there.
Yeah,
no taxation without representation.
That's it's right here in the Constitution. Well, actually, that was in the Declaration of Independence, but it's amazing.
With the last like 40 minutes of the show, though, because you're boring the shit out of me. Can we talk about this? Can we talk about this? I'm just kidding.
Do you know that there's been 82 RTRs released this year?
Are you serious?
82. Yeah, I saw Harley pointed out on the Scale News update that we're up to 82, and that is probably actually 83.
How does Harley know how to count?
Well, he's a super smart engineer guy.
I guess so. He knows how to use a calculator, I suppose.
This whole thing that him and Matt are doing with the Fordyce, where they spun the wheel every week, and the wheel had different options on it.
Oh yeah, okay.
What they got to do. I've actually watched the last couple of them. It's been kind of entertaining, because the wheel was specifically designed to be to make it a pain in the ass, and it was like a 8-week deal that they did, series of video over 8 weeks of kind of like their budget build deal, but right. The wheel decided what they got to do, and like one of the options was Amazon week. Like the only thing that you could do to your truck was something that you could buy from Amazon. Then there was a Harley had to do it one week. It was buy something from a company you've never bought anything from before. And I mean, for Harley, who's been doing it for a while, it was it was relatively difficult for him to find something, but it was relatively entertaining because I do think RC content wise, of the big, I don't know, 3 or 4 that are out there making regular content, I still enjoy Scale Builders Guild. I like Matt's sense of humor. He's got my kind of sense of humor. Yeah, I ran out of fingers and toes.
They tax us like a millionaire. Well, yeah, that's how it works. Got to feed the rich.
And I can tell you that like Tennessee has no state income tax. So like California, you get your paycheck and there's like 5 or 6 different things that, you know, there's state disability, state unemployment. I forget else. There's like 2 or 3 of them that are just California state taxes that are not part of your state income tax that gets, or your payroll tax to get. That's another. There's
right, yeah, because
federal tax. The federal tax to get
California, the state of California takes its share from you as well.
Yeah, so there's the state income tax that they take out, and then there's these additional ones that they take out, kind of like the feds do as well, where there's like Social Security is its own category. So like you pay your federal income taxes get taken out, and then you guys. So like California, you have like 5 or 6. Here in Tennessee, I have 2.
Still waiting on your tax refund for 2022. Really? Oh man, they're behind, huh?
Yeah, Earl, they're behind.
I'm sick of working so hard and it doesn't give me no place. I think, and that's the thing. I don't think that I don't think that you're alone in that. I think that there's tons of Americans that feel exactly the same way you do. And that's the thing. Like with ooh-ah and the whole I feel insignificant thing. I mean, you are not your fucking khakis. I'm going to tell you, you know what I mean? Like,
well, I know I pick on Gen Z, but that's a real issue for young people right now. You go to college and you get yourself $80,000 or $90,000 in the student loan debt. Then you get out of college and you have to get a job, and even if you get a decent job, you still, the prices of everything have gone up, and the young people are looking at like, I'm working my ass off. Like my parents worked their ass off so that they could buy a house, so that they could help pay for my college. If I work my ass off, I'm going to be perpetually paying my student loans for 30 years. I'm going to be renting. I'm going to be leasing a car. I'm not going to be able to buy anything.
Well, they don't want you to buy anything. I mean, they're trying to buy up all the property and everybody. I love this 26K tax refund, and they're behind.
Of course,
my dad says Ukraine says thanks.
Yeah, they're holding on to that money like they stole it.
I'm going to give 1,000 points to Earl for the 26 tax refund to you, the Ukraine, and I'm going to give 2,000 points to my dad for somehow deciphering, because I know he doesn't speak Ukraine. So,
well, I can speak a little bit to that, but yeah, I'll give Earl 26,000 points, one for each dollar that
one for each dollar
warm for him. Ukraine, in 2021, the United States State Department, they do it every year. They listed Ukraine as the most corrupt government in the world. And this is after Zelensky had taken over. Zelensky is a comedian, literally comedian. There's videos of him doing comedy specials in Ukraine and whatnot. Wasn't a politician. As soon as he got elected, because he talked about how we got to clean up the government. We got to fix this country. It's a mess. Russia invaded us. Nobody's doing anything about it. They stole a chunk of our country. We got to do something about this. We got to do something about this. So what's the first thing he did? He gave all of his buddies jobs, paying them hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
Sound familiar somehow?
What's the second thing he did? He got on a plane and came over to the United States and said, hey, can you guys help us out? You know, you guys back in 1995, you agreed to help us out. And we've been fighting this thing with Russia for years and years and years. And we can't, you know. Now, initially, he asked Donald Trump the same thing. Donald Trump said no. Came back. Biden was like, oh, shit, yeah. Yeah, and by the way, my son used to be on the board of one of your gas companies over there. Next thing you know, we're $140 billion we've sent to Ukraine. Where does, because I could tell you my in-laws live in Kharkov, and it's freezing. It's starting to snow there, and their heat doesn't get turned on until the 15th of November.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't get turned on. No heat. You get no heat until November the 15th, because that's when we decided. Not, oh shit, it's fucking snowing outside. Maybe we should turn everybody's heat on. They're probably freezing their asses off. He got their poor fucking kitty wrapped up in a blanket because he's freaking shivering.
I started the fire in my living room. Hold on, I'll grab a lipo. Hang on, I got this. No, that's it. Fuck. I'm gonna keep warm. It was gonna tell Earl with it. You know, your kids need glasses and clothes. The biggest thing there, I feel, is like the overhead. I tell you to go down and buy some thread and some sewing needle and do like they do in China and have them kids fucking make their own goddamn clothes. But, buying sewing needle and thread, I mean, fuck, dude. You're going to have to sell a child just to get that shit anymore.
Speaking of children, we still have roughly 2,000 a day that go missing. But on top of that, we recently had one of the heads of the Department of Homeland Security, who's in charge of keeping track of loose immigrant children, testified that they don't know where 85,000 of them went.
Oops.
And Senator Josh Hawley actually pointed out, like, oh, actually, I know where some of them went because they're getting picked up in various states all over the country, working in sandwich shops, working in factories, being sold off as sex slaves, working night shifts as maids, children as young as 10. And he's like, yeah, that's where some of those that they've gone. How come I know
drivers for shitty RC companies?
It's your job to know that, and I'm a senator, and I know that, and you don't. What? Then he had the head of Department of Homeland Security, like, okay, here's the thing here where she testified where she didn't know, and I explained to her whether how come she hasn't been fired yet? Well, we can't talk about ongoing personnel issues. She lost 85,000 kids.
Whoops. Not dollars. Not dollars. People.
Kids. Children. The biggest fucking crime in the history of mankind.
Oh my God.
Is the selling of children's innocence. The biggest crime in the history of the world. And we're doing it at a rate right now that is nobody's seen before. Nobody can even imagine that it could be as bad as it is. And like I said earlier, the fucking writers at Fox News think that the biggest issue to voters isn't the massive illegal border crossings. It isn't the fact that everything costs twice as much as it did 2 years ago. It isn't the fact that we're funding Ukraine. for whatever reason. That's not it. It's abortion. That's the biggest issue. Abortion's the biggest issue because it's not bad enough that we lose 2,000 kids a day. We need to be murdering more babies. That's what needs to. Yeah.
Maybe they can find him at Epstein Island. I love Sofa King.
Yeah. Maxwell was asked how the Mexican people feel about the new border wall. He responded, "They will get over it." Oh, Franklin. Yes. Hey, Earl, I'll double that, another 1,000 points to Sophie King, because that was a zinger right there. Man, it's
I tried to stay away from the politicky side of tonight, but you guys were.
Every once in a while you just gotta fucking, God damn it, people, what the fuck is wrong? Why do these scumbags why do they get away with everything? Do you know how many people in Congress have been booted out of Congress for ethics violations since, I don't know, 1970? None. You know how many times Maxine Waters has been investigated? At least twice a year, every year since she's been in Congress for ethics violations. She paid her daughter $1 million to run her campaign.
I want $1 million. Fuck Joe Biden. I got it every time it comes up.
The sad part is, it ain't even his fault. If anybody thinks that Joe Biden is in his right mind, that man is a trained monkey at this point. He's already dead inside. Look at the way he walks. He walks like he's already dead. He can't form complete sentences. Every time that guy goes off script, he says something fucking weird. He doesn't remember anything. I mean, he repeats the same lie over and over again, that he graduated in the top 70% of his class from, I don't know, shitbag college. But that was actually one of the reasons why he had to drop out of the presidential race, like the first time he ran in the 80s or the 90s, was because he caught lying about it, that he actually didn't graduate in the top 70%. He was in like the bottom 5%. Joe Biden is a fucking moron in college.
I got memory loss too. I don't talk about it.
Yeah, but yeah, Joe Biden it's sad. Shame on his family.
What about the Big Rock chassis concerns you? Now they're talking about the 6X Big Rock. I don't know. What do you think of that? I think it's a big fucking piece of shit. That's what I'm thinking. Is it still all plastic? If it's still all plastic and they made it 6S, it's dumb as hell. Does it have a metal pan on the bottom?
I don't understand Arma's fixation on 6S. 4S, 8S. If you're gonna if you want to compete with the X-Max,
it's the stamped crap, huh?
Yeah, the aluminum chassis is garbage.
Well, I mean, the aluminum chassis BR, they still bend, but the plastic ones just snap. I mean, you don't even have a chance. They just break.
Yeah, see, I personally think
70-75 aluminum.
You just, either get rid of the aluminum and start making it out of grade 2 titanium. Cost-wise, it's going to be very little difference, and the titanium will be infinitely stronger.
Well, I guess, what are you doing with this thing? Propaganda? That's the other thing, too. Is like, are you trying to jump this thing off your house? Or
propaganda is like launching them off of jumps with fireworks and shit now. Going high tech.
Is he?
Yeah.
People think the 6S Big Rock is new, and that's what I wanted to touch on. Is it's not new? It's just a revamped chassis, isn't it? I mean, they just took, like you said.
Wasn't the Big Rock a 4S before? Wasn't it?
But wouldn't they just take like the fucking Mojave chassis or something like that if it's same layout? So you just put it on a chassis you guys already have stamped out. Why would you know what I mean?
1,000 points to propaganda because he likes to jump high. 1,000 points to Sofa King because he likes to be high when he jumps.
I like both. You guys, 1,000 points to both of you because I'm high every time I jump.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's like Proline's new suspension thing. Fantastic idea. Fantastic. People who like pre-runners, who like Baja style, now you can turn one of your crawlers into a pre-runner style. It's great idea. It's the same people that own Proline, own Arma, and own Losi. So now Losi, Horizon's like, hey man, go to town, make this motorcycle, make a bitchin'. Losi did that. Makes it bitchin'. Proline, hey man, make a pre-runner style suspension, make it bitchin'. Proline makes it. It's pretty bitchin'. Hey Arma, do whatever the fuck you want.
Fire team.
Doesn't matter what you make. doesn't matter what you make.
Why did you just throw up in your mouth, Arma? They didn't make me feel better. Jesus Christ.
Revo and Nero courts found the name infringed on Traxxas patents. It's sad. It really is sad. The fastest name on RC. That they have to be such douchey business people.
Look here, boy. I drive the most advanced RCs known to man, Traxxas.
Yeah. The new Team Associated release Hot Rod 2-wheel drive. Hey, wait, what?
I haven't seen this. We were talking about the new team. What is it? The new Proline, the Proline kit.
Well, they got the Team Associated has that new unicorn, big unicorn thing.
The SR7 or whatever.
Is it 2-wheel drive?
Shit. 82 cars, and I'm still trying to count, and you fucking got to bring up one out of 82, and like I'm supposed to goddamn know about it.
That's just 82 RTRs that have been released this year. It's a lot of RTRs.
It's based on the short course chassis, huh? Oh, neat.
Oh shit. Team Associated. I mean, Team Associated has been kind of rocking here lately. They got the clear plastic gold pan RC10. They got the 1-to-1 RC10, which was pretty freaking ridiculous. I've seen more videos of that now coming out, where like they have them driving it in to the SEMA show and everything.
A-Man put out a video for it yesterday.
Oh.
Well, I saw John Schultz do a teaser for something, but it looked like the unicorn car.
Team Association.
We'll find it. We'll talk about your piece of shit. The Promoto MX definitely was the RC for 2023, but also holds the worst release. Yeah, all in the same year. Absolutely, man. What the fuck happened there? What the fuck? Everybody, I don't understand how you can take such an innovative RC and hand it to the masses and then fuck that shit up all at the same time.
Oh, yeah, the Pro 2. Huh. That's
POS.
not bad. Body's kind of ugly, but hey, why not?
Share the screen. Let's see what you're looking at. Not the girly part, the truck.
Share screen. So the Pro 2 LT10
Oh, yeah, okay.
Short wheelbase. I mean,
looks like a trophy truck.
Yeah, $350 for basically a short wheelbase, short course truck. Which, I mean, if you're
Is
If
that IFS then?
yeah, it's probably got a. Yeah. So it's basically it's just the RC10, and they put a short, of course, buggy truck body on it. Pretty much everything that Losi or Associated does is just an RC10 with a different body on it.
Looks like an affordable trophy truck.
Yeah, I mean it's
That I can imagine that if you tried to jump off a wall, you'd break it.
I mean it's probably reasonably tough, made for.
They have a new version of that same thing, a 32 forward looking body with flames and open wheel. That might be kind of cool looking. I mean, I like trophy trucks. That was the one thing that I wanted to talk about was that Proline swing arm kit that they made. I think that thing is neat. I don't know how many people want to take their crawler and turn it into a 2-wheel drive trophy truck, but if you got an extra chassis and some shit lying around, it might be kind of fun.
And I mean, probably.
I mean, how many people got a 10-2 sitting on the shelf they ain't doing shit with? You know?
Yeah, I mean, even I mean, it doesn't even have to be a 10-2. It could be an Element.
It just has to be based off a 10-2 chassis. So as long as it matches the 10-2 chassis rails.
And I mean, it's probably there's probably some holes. Maybe you got to drill a hole or something in another brand because the holes don't exactly line up or whatever. But I think it's a great idea.
My only other problem with it was all plastic, like you said.
Yeah, and I mean, it is a complete kit. So it's to turn your 10-2 into a pre-runner. So it's got the trailing arms and everything for the rear suspension as well as the front suspension. I wish they would have made the arms out of aluminum. It would have been nice for that. Jesse, I'm about 6'1.5", 6'3". I'm almost 6'1". The Endura rock crawler chassis are awesome, by the way. Those ones that you can buy on Amazon, that's basically a pre-made all aluminum kit. They're great. The only thing you have to do with them is replace the gears because they generally put cheap centered metal gears in there, and under a real heavy load, you'll chip the teeth in the axle gears. Do you wear risers in your shoes?
Got real dark.
No. I mean, honestly, if you want to see the shoes that I wear, it's I wear me some good old reef flip flops, baby. No risers. When I'm wearing regular shoes, I have a pair of Ultra Paradigm super cushiony shoes. And when I'm wearing those, I'm probably about 6'2", because they do have a lot of cushion to them. But
that was cool. It's so
they are quite honestly, if you're going to spend $100 on a pair of shoes, and you want them to be super comfortable, get you a pair of Ultra.
There we go.
Any of the Ultra, they are super cushiony. 6 foot, 6'4" with the hair too. Hey, that's 1,000 points to Sophie King for a Fletch reference right there. Although I think Fletch was 6'4", 6'8" with the afro.
Zora.
But yeah, I have seen several of those Endura setups, and that they are very nice. I mean, Endura makes pretty nice stuff. I don't have it at handy, but
their hard bodies are kind of cool. I mean,
my SCX 24, I did all Endura stuff on there. Yeah. You go into the Amazon Injora store and you can just load your SCX-24 up with everything they got, and bingo, you get a little beast on your hands. And it's, it's like freaking $27 for everything.
Who doesn't like a good hard body? That's right. That's how I Mountain Dew it.
I love a good hard body, but I do say I got a soft spot for, a little bit of the spongy.
Anything with a little give. Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, I think that new Proline, the Proline swing arm kit for the 10-2, I think it's neat. I think it's fucking cool. I told Rich it was the first thing that I've been excited about for RC in a good long fucking time.
I'm very, very happy. It's so weird. It's backwards, but I know the bike is over my left shoulder. But
that's right. It is. No, there you go.
It's right. It's
right.
This one's
right. This one's your right.
I'm very happy with the.
Remember the song before the show? This is your right. Okay.
But since the Pro Moto, I would say, other than that, this new Proline suspension with the cross arms is, definitely the most I've been excited about anything crawler related all year. Because as far as I can tell, in 2023, crawler related products are really stale. They're all, everybody's making the same shit now. Even Vanquish is making a bunch of plastic shit now. Partly because you gotta hang around a price point, and
everything is boring.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad, but we're really not seeing like Arma. You needed to release the 6S Big Rock. Really, you could have done something new. A couple of years ago, you came out with all the EXB shit. Aluminum, make your shit all beefy and freaking gnarly, and now you've got a Big Rock 6S. Come on, guys. You can do better than that. I mean, shit, Losi made a freaking motorcycle, man. Come on, Arma.
I'm not trying to. I don't understand what. Either I got high here at the end of the show.
Get it? You like the hobby, but can we have some fun? Now, see, propaganda, I like having fun, but I just wish that for all of the effort that these companies put into just coming out,
RC is still fun.
They're cookie cuttering stuff right now, and it's like Losi proved that you could come out with something truly innovative, and you could take something that's been around for a long time and you can make it better than it was before, and not just, hey, we're going to kind of revise some shit and then we'll allow you to put more batteries in it. And so 4S, you can run it on 6S now. I mean, let's take the innovation and, don't feel like you need to come out with 82 new RTRs that are basically all just clones of one another. Come out with 10 RTRs, but, come up with a new cross-arm suspension system that looks like a pre-runner.
NorCal, that one's for you.
We're really talking RCs? Instagram is just people posting other people's shit now, so they have some posts. I want to see what you can do, not what others do. Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. I think propaganda's been killing Instagram. The reels are fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
You're really quiet. You can hear yourself doing the world a favor. I mean, honestly, I think social media is kind of is taking a big hit right now across the board, primarily because it's run its course. You know, Facebook is barely tolerable. You post something and there's 40 people that want to troll you with the same troll that's been done 100 times before. And it's like propaganda said. I mean, Instagram is just people posting other people's shit now. And it's like, okay, well, the people who are bothering to do stuff that's kind of different and new, everybody else wears you out on it because they just fucking copy it. Like
how many clips of an RC can you watch climbing a rock? We need some fun. I totally agree with you. That's why I kind of liked it when Tony went all crazy and crushed RCs with a monster car. It was controversial. I'm glad that he did something like that. Like, we need something outside the box. We need something we can fucking talk about. It's just ridiculous to see the same shit. And I guess that's where I got, like, with my RC channel and where I feel like things have gotten is, how many times can I show you the same shit?
Well, like RC racing. I mean, I just watched a video over the weekend of the IFMAR on-road like Nitro Championships 2023. And had it not been for the fact that they had one asshole who was standing behind the drivers on the driver's stand, like the camera up over their heads, that was filming the race, shaky and wobbly shit. If you actually, like live RC, if you actually put some thought into it, like
here's what I'm thinking, like with propaganda here. Hey, look, I climbed a line with my crawler. Okay, well, if you can climb a line, then we'll lay out a line and you have to snort it with your nose too. And then you get to the next stage. Now that would be good, right? I mean,
well, like, think about this.
How many people have a heart attack before the end of that?
I've said it before. People love racing. People love racing. A majority of people watch racing because they want to see cars burst into flames with Ricky Bobby running around in his underwear. RC cars, they crash spectacularly. Live RC, put some thought into your events. Set up a couple of cameras around the track. Maybe have two guys that are holding cameras close to the track that actually know how to film and can follow the cars and follow the action. And start showing RC car racing like real racing does.
Yeah.
Not, up here on the driver's stand at night where with a shitty GoPro that doesn't work that great at night and you can barely see anything. And well, like propaganda, part of why content is getting hard to watch is because it's the same shit. Yeah. How many times can you watch a crawler going up a rock?
Climb a line, do a line, RC death race.
Yeah. Two guys with paintball guns randomly shooting cars. Yeah, I mean,
it's like either that or shooting the drivers, which might be even better. Like, you have to drive the line, but you could be getting shot at the same time. Fuck yeah!
Not shoot the cars, shoot at the driver.
Drive the car. Yeah,
yeah.
Like,
but this is how everything.
That's how you should get to be a team driver. You want to be a fucking team driver. Guess what? We got a test for you.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a paintball. But yeah, this is where everything in entertainment goes to die. It's when everybody just copies the thing that works and they just copy it. You saw it after fucking Seinfeld show. Seinfeld was fantastic. Friends was fantastic. Remember fucking Thursday, must-see TV. And then after Seinfeld left, Friends kind of went downhill in the latter years because they just didn't have much to go on. But everybody else just started trying to copy this successful model that was created. And the problem is people get tired. So yeah, crawling videos. We'll give RC Sparks the credit for being the first crawling video guy ever. But as time went on, everybody just started making crawling videos. And yeah, how many times can you watch them? Even I can't go back and watch my old videos. It's boring. I mean, I like the music.
Seriously, that video girl where RC Girl goes into the track's headquarters, if she was being shot at by paintballs at the same time, that would have got 6,000 views in 3 days.
Yeah. Like I said.
Yeah, action. People like action.
RC Girl is the Haley Deegan of RC.
You got to do 3 shots and spin around the baseball bat 3 times, and then you can crawl your line.
Hey, we're going to have an RC crawling event with a twist. You're going to be locked in a cage with a mountain lion. Now go crawl that line.
Yeah, crawl that line.
Now tell me how bitching your RC car is. The freaking mountain lion gnawing on your arm. Yeah, or propaganda is another. It's another brilliant idea. You have to do 10 shots of whiskey, and then go out and run your comp. And you have to do 3 sessions over a 4-hour period. So that's 30 shots of whiskey over 4 hours. If you're still alive at the end of the day and not dead of alcohol poisoning, hey, you win. JB won the comp this year. He managed to get through 1 gate, but he was the only one that got through 1 gate, and he was one of 3 people that lived.
Or you can settle for 2 shots in the Tiger. I love it.
I mean, come on, propaganda. I'm trying to add a level of danger because everybody loves danger. So you add an element of danger to it, then, I mean, shit, you'll get 5 million views. I mean, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, like I said, if you had a competition where, on this line, on this course, we're going to run in with paintball guns and try to shoot you guys.
Yeah, like how they do at the axial races, how they do the ultra 5K. All right, well, there's a certain part of that lap where you have to run a gauntlet.
Yeah, we got snipers out there with paintball guns.
And we got 5 guys on each side with paintball guns with 100 rounds each. You're going to get some bruises.
You want that G6? You want that G6 badge? You're going to earn it.
Yeah, Recon G6, man. You're fixed 24. You're fixed 12. Come on, man. You just want to walk around for 12 hours? I mean...
No. I got you fixed right here.
There's plenty of people who can do that. Yeah. How about every lap that you make in the fixed 12? Yeah. You got to down a pitcher of beer. Oh, and by the way, we're gonna release King Cobras out onto the course.
Somewhere on the course, we released King Cobras.
Yeah, maybe just a couple of them, and we'll wrangle them to make sure that they're in the area so they don't get loose. But yeah, come on, man.
Beware the Velociraptors.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, propaganda's right, man. All this stuff has gotten boring, and anything we could do to spice it up a little bit would be great. I mean, it's why I haven't made a video of the motorcycle because, I mean,
how many videos of motorcycles do you want to watch?
Well, I mean, and I'll be honest with you, I don't have a racetrack to take it to, so I'm not going to have any cool racetrack videos.
You got a driveway, right?
Speedway. Speed runs. I mean, Earl's pretty much killed that, so I can't really take it out and do speed runs with it because then I'm just copying that. If I'm just running around on my driveway, oh, okay, well, that's not going to be that entertaining to watch because, yeah, my inner driveway is fun and all, but Yeah. So, why bother? I just take it out and have fun with it and leave the camera.
Yeah, RC content is still boring for sure. I mean, goddamn. I think of RC Sparks and him arguing on my Facebook page with Jeremy Christian Barris about who started fucking RC, and it's like, geez, who cares who started RC? It's basically turned to fucking absolute bullshit now.
Well, and I mean, who made the first RC video is like the same argument of who made the first fart joke. Who really cares? Doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, RC is fun. It's still fun. I still have fun doing it. But I have fun doing it for me. It's me. It's my little escape. I'm not necessarily doing it to create content anymore. Dude, Sofa King, you have been doing the green screen videos. They're priceless, my friend. But yeah, I've been doing RC for me and not for creating content. And I know that I know Kelly posted a comment last week on last week's show about, hey man, when are you going to get your bomber out and run it? And I'd like to see
Kelly Kirchett.
Yeah, I dealt with some health issues that kind of kept me from being able to do some stuff. Kind of going out and hitting the rocks and hitting the trails is one of the things that I haven't been able to do. But also at the same time, there isn't a lot of motivation. YouTube is kind of screwing all of us little creators, and it's almost a slap in the face that you go out and spend hours filming, come home, spend hours editing video, post it up, and YouTube shares it with 5 people because it's not a big revenue video for them. So they could give 2 shits. So they're not going to share it. Hell, they don't even share it with everybody that subscribes to your channel, who subscribes to your channel so they can watch your stuff. And they don't even tell them, hey, by the way, Sticky's got a new video out.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, I get it. You don't give a shit. My videos don't make you money. And that's the kind of shitty part about YouTube. And that was my joke with the 75 views is, spend hours and hours working hard, busting your ass so that you can get 75 views, which, if you're monetized is going to equate out to, you're going to get paid, 12 cents for all that time and effort. Where,
my God.
Am I getting the right shot? Are you taking, whereas if I'm just going out and playing around with my RCs and having fun without a camera, I'm just having fun for the sake of having fun. And I'm not worried about, I need to get this over here. I need to get this shot. And I need to do all of this. And then I need to come back here and I need to spend hours in front of my computer and cutting and getting the music and the cuts to line up with the beats of the music and all of that.
Wait, now who are you talking about? I'd still do that shit if I could. I just can't do that shit anymore. It's too hard on me. It's too hard for me physically to spend that amount of time and stuff. Like, that's ridiculous. That's where I'm at with it. It's not like I don't want to do that stuff.
I enjoy the creative process, but
it's got to be to a point though where it's like it's just it's not worth the set up the camera and let it roll. Yeah, I mean, and I've done that, but I have a hard time letting my artistic side be like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, because I want to do things in my videos, and I want my videos to have certain aspects to it that,
Look, do I look like Jack to you? Do I put my RC down?
You didn't.
I catch it. It
didn't happen. Unfortunately, it just I've gotten a little bit irritated with YouTube, and I think if there was another platform that was even remotely close to YouTube, I would jump over to that platform and create content over there, just for the sake of, without it being monetized, without worrying about money or views or anything, just for the sake of having that creative outlet. And I mean, Rumble is the next best thing, and Rumble is not even remotely close to YouTube. And you could go over there and create 100 videos, and maybe 5 people will see them, because Rumble's still working on their stuff. There needs to be more time there. RC OnlyFans, I mean, you got to think, you got a point there, Sophie King. But then I'm just exocaged. I'm charging you $19.99 a month to view me.
Look at my hard bodies. Look at my chassis. Have you seen my axles?
I got a new chain this week. Yeah, OnlyFans. Everything is falling off right now. Partly the discretionary income is gone. They've ruined everything to the point where we're spending so much more money on everything. We can't afford to spend on extra shit anymore.
I thought Earl held that down. Anyway, I thought Earl had the site for that. Was that showingmyfeet.com or something like that?
www.earlmoreheadsfeet.com.
Morefeet.com.
Yeah, and Sophie King, trust me, man, nobody wants to look at my feet.
Oh, Feet Finder. That was what it was. I knew he said something.
Yeah, nobody wants to look at my feet.
Is that like where he dresses like his middle toe up is like Waldo, like puts it in a.
You seem to know an awful lot about Feet Finder.
Wait.
You seem to have an understanding of content there. Maybe OnlyFans RC is a feet guy. JB the feet guy. Well, I hate to say it, but it is that time. It's actually over that time. But it has been tons of fun. I know today I went on some political rants, but I got to every once in a while, especially because
I'm just messing with feet are gross.
Work's been kind of boring lately, so I've had to watch a lot of congressional hearings lately. And man, it just fucking pisses me off that these jackasses are the one that are running our country. And they suck. They all suck. There's only a few of them that only partially suck. But hey, man, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, everybody. 10,000 points for everybody. Because why the hell not?
I got like a B bomber flying overhead right now.
I was going to say, I think the invasion has begun, and it started in Colorado.
Yeah, I know there's an airport like maybe eight miles from me or something, but there it goes. Didn't drop any bombs, thank God.
No. And anyhow, that's going to do it. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for hanging out, and we'll be back here next week doing it again. Thank you, JB, for hanging out and keeping things semi moving in the right direction.
I just give you shit, man. I just give you shit.
Have a great week, everybody. Have a great weekend. Get out and do something fun. Maybe even do some fun RC shit. And we will see you all next Wednesday. And now we just wait for the